Do you go to the supermarket for like one thing and come home with a trolley full of junk? Well, I know how that feels. And in this fabulous health show, I'm going to teach you how to navigate the supermarket like a boss and bring home only the things you want and only the things that are good for you. So, welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. I'm your host, Terry Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods plant based nutritionist. And this show gives you the tools to help you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. So, I go live every single day at 10 a.m. US Central Time on my Facebook page and also on YouTube. Of course, you can catch the replay. But if you want to watch it live, 10 a.m. US Central Time is the time to do it. And that's in October 2021 if you're watching the replay. I also load this up to a podcast. So if you're on Apple Podcasts or Google or Spotify or Deezer or all those places, that's my podcast platform. If you go to Spreaker Podcast, you can find me there as well. But you know what? It's a new podcast and I know it's hard to find me. So the sneaky way to do it is to head over to fabuloushealth.net, click on the podcast tab, and then you can choose whatever platform you want and sign up right from there. Look, I really, really appreciate you listening and watching, and I love reading your comments. I'm here to help you. So anything you say to me, I want to hear. If you've got any ideas for future shows, I want to hear it. If you've had success from the tips and tricks that I give you, I want to hear that as well. Anyway, welcome to episode 29. We're talking about how to navigate the supermarket like a boss. Okay, I think there's 10 or 11 steps. But they're really simple, and you could write them down, and then every time you go to the supermarket you could take this little list with you, and you will be in and out and you won't have a trolley full of Twinkies. Okay, step number one, make a meal plan. You're like, what do you mean make a meal plan? Think about what it is you actually are going to eat for the next week. Now, the way to make a meal plan, this is another podcast, obviously, but just do some research. Go and look in your cookbook cupboard and get out your cookbooks. Think about the favorite meals that your family likes. Go to places like Forks Over Knives or PCRM or Well Your World. Those are all fabulous websites that have no salt, no sugar, no oil, food recipes that are really, really delicious, whole food, plant-based recipes. And you can get tons and tons of ideas from there. Write down the ingredients that you're going to need. So that brings me to step number 2. Have a list. Like before you actually get in the car and go to the supermarket, open up your fridge. What am I missing? What do I need? Open up your cupboard. What am I missing? What do I need? I know, for example, that I've got staples in my cupboard that I never, ever run out of. And those are things like dried beans and tinned tomatoes and passata, garlic, stuff that I use every single day. I know that I've got to check my cupboard to see if I have any of that there. So you've made a meal plan and you've made a list. So just think about what you're going to eat for the next week and make a list, and then go to the supermarket with that list in your hand. And don't forget it. Don't be like me and leave it on the kitchen counter when you get to the supermarket. It's not there. Hello. All right. Step number 3, eat a meal before you go shopping. Have you ever heard people tell you never to go shopping when you're hungry? Because what happens is you are so excited by all the shiny things. You get to the supermarket, your tummy is grumbling, and then bang, the advertising kicks in. All those shiny packets, all those candy bars, all those insto meals, all those quick and easy grab and go stuff. They are calling your name and they're saying to you, put me in your belly. No, you don't want that. You want to be completely satisfied so that you have no interest in food when you go shopping. You're not going to be rummaging through the chip aisle trying to find a packet of Doritos if your stomach is already full. So eat before you go. Okay, you've gone to the supermarket. You've got your reusable bags because we like to protect the environment, not use the plastic. And then you're into the supermarket with your trolley, masks on, hand sanitizer, ready to go. Okay, where do you go first? The first place you go is to the bulk section if your supermarket has one. And I really highly suggest that you find a supermarket in your area that has a bulk section, because you're going to save tons and tons and tons of money. So the bulk section has things like whole grains, such as brown rice and oats and quinoa and farro and maybe even einkorn and millet and teff. So those are the whole grains that you want to eat on a daily basis. And if those whole grains are foreign to you, hey, it's cool. Just get the whole grains that you know that your family likes, and then go searching around the internet, recipes for teff. What can I make with that? That's an interesting thing. I might find out about that and expand your palate. The other thing that you can get in the bulk section are oats and beans, nuts, and dried fruit. So if you're trying to lose weight, you want to be really, really stingy with the nuts and dried fruit, because they are really, really high energy density. Yeah, they got some nutrients in them as well, but they're high energy density. So they're going to pack a lot of calories in a very, very small package. So if you're trying to lose weight, that's not what you want to eat. You want to eat foods that have hardly any calories in a very large package, because then you're going to fill your belly, fill your tummy, get satisfied without too many calories. So the bulk section is the first place that you go. And in the interest of saving the environment, please make an investment into some reusable little bags so that you can fill them up. I get these little they're meshy bags, and things won't fall out of them because the mesh is really, really fine. So I can put things like teff, which is a tiny itty bitty grain, and quinoa and hemp hearts and all that kind of stuff in these little bags. They don't weigh hardly anything, and then you can reuse them every time, and you're not taking the plastic bag. So if you can find those on the internet, I might put them on my Amazon store, actually. In fact, I absolutely will. Straight after this podcast, I'm going to put them on my Amazon store. Just go to fabuloushealth.net, click on the Amazon store, and then you will find those little bags there, and then you can get some and save the plastic. We don't need any more plastic in the ocean, so save the plastic. All right, so you've been to the bulk section, and you've got your oatmeal, and you've got your grains, and you've got your beans. Excellent. You do that because you're going to save tons and tons of money, because you're not buying all that packaging. And yeah, that's what you're going to do, save money. All right, the next place you go is to the canned goods aisle. Now, in the canned goods aisle, you normally find fruit and vegetables and beans. So if you don't want to soak your own beans overnight, or you don't want to use the Instapot, and you just want to open a can because you're so busy that you don't have time for drying beans and cooking them, by all means use the canned ones. But when you look at the cans, you've got to look for three things. 1, is it organic? 2, does it have a non-BPA lining? Now, BPA stands for bisphenol A. It's an industrial chemical that's been used to make certain plastics and resins since the 1950s, and it is a concern to your health because of possible neurotoxicity and the health effects on your brain, and particularly for little babies and fetuses, on the prostate gland of baby boys and baby infant boys, fetuses, and children. So stay away from cans that have BPA lining. And you'll see a big sticker on them that says BPA free lining. So the other thing that BPA can do is it can affect children's behavior. And there is additional research that suggests a possible link between BPA and increased blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. So stay away from the BPA. So those are the three things. Have I done the three things or not? Oh, no, I haven't. First one, organic. Second one, BPA-free lining. Third one, no salt. Yeah, check the labels. Read the labels. Get your cans of beans. If you like canned fruit, get canned fruit as well, but make sure it has no sugar in it. Light syrup, no. Fruit juice, maybe, yeah? And then you could get canned vegetables if you like canned vegetables. I prefer to have frozen vegetables if I'm in a hurry, but you can go canned vegetables too if that's for you. Now, the next thing you want to do is go to the spices aisle. And this is where you find all the flavorings, your herbs and spices that are going to make your meals absolutely pop. So you can sometimes get spices bulk. I know Sprouts in the US does spices bulk, and so does Whole Foods. But if you can't get your bulk spices, then just go to the spices aisle, and please, again, look for the organic ones, and don't go cheap on your spices. All those $1 spices, half the time they're full of dang sawdust. So don't buy them. Buy the expensive spices and get really, really good flavor in your meals. The next aisle you want to go to is the dressings aisle. If you don't make your own dressings and you want to buy them in a bottle, that is fine, but this is what you got to look for: oil-free, sugar-free, salt-free. So most of that is going to be balsamic vinegar or plain vinegar, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar. You're not going to get too many dressings in the supermarket that are oil-free, salt-free, sugar-free that have more than vinegar in them. However, if you go to my website, fabuloushealth.net, and click on the shop and then click on my favorite things, you'll find a link to a website called Well Your World, and they make fantastic dressings that are sugar-free, oil-free, salt-free, and tasty, tasty, tasty if you don't want to make your own dressings. Okay, step number 9. Then you go to the outside of the supermarket. And I know people say to you, shop the outside, don't shop anywhere else. No, there's good stuff in the inside. You just have to avoid the chippies and the cakes and the lollies and all that kind of stuff and the processed garbage. So you're going to go to the fresh now, because you've already got your cans in the bottom of your supermarket, and then you're going to put your fresh veggies on top so they're not going to get squashed. So here's where you buy all your fresh fruits and veggies. So if you want to save money, what do? You go for the things that are on sale. Yeah, things that are in season. I mean, yesterday I saw bananas that were like 19 cents a pound. I mean, hello. I don't know how a farmer can survive selling bananas to a supermarket for 19 cents a pound. But anyway, you could buy a big hand of bananas, peel half of them, freeze them so that you can make nice cream, and you can make desserts, and you can make cookies, and you can make shakes and whatever you want later on, and then have half the hand of bananas out on the fruit bowl for your family to eat at leisure, because bananas, they're fabulous for you and you've got to eat them. And the other thing is that if you do have any way of preserving your fruits and vegetables, so if you're good at canning and jarring things, you just buy a tray of them, buy them in bulk. Okay, step 10, go to the frozen aisle. The reason we go to the frozen aisle last is because the stuff is frozen. So you want to keep it as cold as possible so you can get it home really, really quickly and stick it in the freezer so that it has no chance of thawing. If you can get one of those foil freezy bags and bring it with you to the supermarket, that is even better. So in the frozen aisle, again, look for frozen vegetables with nothing else. You'll find that there are a lot of frozen vegetables now that have sauces in them and all sorts of different things, including salt and oil. So please don't just randomly pick some frozen veggies out of the freezer thinking that it's just going to be the veggie and nothing else. You've got to read the labels now, which is really dull and boring, but you've really got to do it. And the other thing that supermarkets do a lot is they do 2-for-1 frozen veggies, or buy 2 get 1 free frozen veggies, and sometimes it's mix and match. So you might have like carrots, corn and peas, separate bags of them, or beans or whatever, and then it says buy 3 get 1 free, and they don't have to be the same one. So you don't come home with 4 bags of frozen carrots and then you're going, what am I going to do with those? You can mix and match, and then you can get the ones that you like. And then step number 11, I know I said it was 10 steps, but this is my favorite step: get a lottery ticket. No, you don't have to do that. I love getting the scratchy. It's always it's my highlight of the supermarket. And I'm not encouraging gambling, by the way. Do not do this if you're under 21, but it's fun for me to do. You don't have to get a lottery ticket. Anyway, I hope you found this supermarket trip helpful and useful. And I hope that now you can go to the supermarket and not come out with a trolley full of garbage and frozen pizzas and ready meals and candy and chips and lollies and ice cream. You don't need that stuff. Yeah, you don't need it. Ask me questions. If you have trouble going to the supermarket, ask for help. I can help you. Head over to fabuloushealth.net and check out all my wares. Check out all the other podcasts. And again, I thank you so much for watching and listening this. Oh, if you want to try out my new weight loss course. It's called The Quick Road to Fabulous Weight Loss. And for only 2 more days, 29, 30, 31, 3 more days, I am offering a half price discount, 50% off till the 31st of October 2021 if you use the promo code PODCAST. You can do that. Easy peasy. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about how to put on healthy weight. If you have a really high metabolism and you are skinny and you are having trouble putting on weight, listen in tomorrow. Anyway, everybody, I love you very much. Thank you so much for listening. You guys have a fabulous day. See you tomorrow.